If you're obsessing over the views that you have or stressing about the number of subscribers that you might not have, or even just spiraling because the videos that you make aren't exactly the perfect video that you want to be putting out, well, this video is for you. I'm going to be taking a look at this new viral let them theory and try and apply it to YouTube and content creation. And hopefully that can help change our mindset on how we create videos in the future. So let's get started.
She's an award-winning author, speaker, and podcaster. Her latest book is called The Let Them Theory.
She has millions of followers across social media.
We're talking about our girl. Our girl, others claim her, she's ours, Mel Robbins. People got tattoos, she wrote a book. She wrote a book and it's called The Let Them Theory. It's a life-changing tool that millions of people cannot stop talking about.
All right, so let me ask you something. How much time do you actually spend trying to control your audience? Whether it's trying to chase trends to get on their radar, constantly tweaking your thumbnails or your titles and racking your brain until it hurts just so they can click on the video, or maybe you spend hours just re-editing the same content because you're worried that someone's gonna leave a nasty comment. This sounds familiar to probably a lot of folks on this video or watching this video, and it definitely sounds familiar to me. But what if I told you that none of that is in your control? You can't control how people feel about your content. You can't control whether or not they watch or like your content. And you can't control the algorithm on whether or not it disseminates it out to the masses or whether you just get a couple views here and there. This is where the let them theory comes in. And it's a pretty simple but life-changing mantra to have, not just in your daily life, but also if you apply it to content creation. The let them theory is pretty much how it sounds, is you let them. Let people decide whether or not they watch your content, whether or not they like your content. Let them react however they react. It's not about you, it's about them and their opinions and their preferences and their choices. Now look, I know this is pretty hard to do, especially when you're pouring your heart out into something like, making videos and you're being very vulnerable with people that you've never met online. This isn't some woo-woo type of science either. It's actually rooted in real wisdom. It takes things that other people have been using for a long time, whether it's Stoicism or the Serenity Prayer, or this thing called radical acceptance. But all of these things, including let them, is basically when you let go of what's out of your control and focus on yourself and focus on what you can control. And when it comes to YouTube or content creation in general, there's a lot of things that you can control. All right, so if we're letting go of controlling our audience, what's left? Well, that's the second part of the let them theory, because there's two parts. Let them is the first part, let me is the second part. And let me is where I think the magic happens. And it's all about reclaiming your power, focusing on what you can control. And as a content creator, there's a couple things that we probably could and should control. I think the biggest thing with this let me side of the equation is focusing on creativity. A lot of times newer creators, I think, try and chase trends or make videos that they think other people are gonna wanna watch. And it's hard because, especially in the beginning of the year, like in January 2025, there's so many videos on how to make it big as a YouTube creator, what niche to do, what to focus on, and it's all centered around monetization. It's all centered around, what's the highest CPM. And a lot of these videos miss the basic part of you need to make videos that excite you, that you're passionate about, because it's a lot of work to set up a camera, to put on a mic and hit record. And if your audience doesn't feel that passion coming out in the video, then they're gonna know it's fake. They're gonna know it's artificial. So really honing in on videos that you're excited about will get your audience passionate and energized too. The number two thing is focus on embracing imperfections. Stop trying to make the video perfect. It's not possible, and quite frankly, it's not necessary, especially early on. And this is something that I have to constantly remind myself, because the few videos that I've made, I've spent way more time editing and cutting than I actually have recording the video and coming up with the script. You know, the flow has to be right. The script has to be right. Things have to move at a good cadence, and I want to be happy with it. And I've done myself a disservice by over editing and making sure that things are perfect. But if you look at some of the most raw videos on YouTube, a lot of them are raw, a lot of them are unedited, and they're candid. So I think, especially early on, it's important to get the reps in rather than the perfection. And so that's, for me going forward, is, you know, let me not focus on that. The last thing is set boundaries. Let me set boundaries. Not every piece of advice is worth your time. Not every comment on your video warrants your attention. You have to protect your mental health by deciding what's worth your energy. If someone leaves a mean comment, then let them. If no one watches your video, then so be it. Get that out of your mind and focus on what you can control. So look, to conclude, the reason why this thing is so powerful, this theory is so powerful, is because when you stop trying to control others and focus on what you can control, it gives you back so much energy. It gives you back the time and effort to focus on things that you should be doing. Instead of trying to figure out how to get the next 10,000 viewers, focus and brainstorm on just creating the next video, creating a video that was better than the one that you created previously. Instead of focusing on every piece of feedback that you've gotten, focus on honing your craft. And when you create this from a place of confidence, your audience is gonna see it and you're gonna feel it, and that's gonna make your videos all the more better. So look, I know this was a relatively short one, but I do think that there's some value with this theory. I think everyone should pick up the book or at least watch a few videos on it, because I know it helped me, and so it might help you. Until next time.